Hello and welcome to this week's Mystic Message. This week's Mystic Message is once again around some of these root chakra wounds and this collective experience that we're going through of rebuilding our foundations in ways that are more authentic, that are based in a higher frequency, that are connected to the reality that we're trying to create instead of rooted in fear and control and resistance and wounds, these unhealed wounds. And so if you've been following these mystic messages and or the collective energy forecasts every month, we've seen this story building all year long. It has been a year around big foundational shifts and crumbling, dismantling, and rebuilding and discovering what is authentic. And so, what is coming through for this mystic message this week is around this idea that if you think about, so our root chakra, right? Our base chakra, that is the energy center that is around survival. Our basic survival needs, our safety, our security, our stability, the basics, right? Money, right? Because money offers these types of things. So it's a big financial area as well, where a lot of those wounds show up. It's where a lot of childhood wounds show up, and very tied to a lot of ancestral wounds. And so as everything's falling apart around us, externally in society, it may not look it yet, but it is happening. And we're having that experience internally. And we've really been honing in on what matters the most to us. What do I value? Not what society tells me to value, not what my parents, not what, everything around me that's been force fed down my throat my whole life. It's not what they tell me my foundations should be. What are my foundations, right? And so if you've been doing that work, you're in a great place right now. Because what's happening is it's this visual of this red energy, like this water kind of circling the drain. So when like the water is getting ready to like go down the drain and it circles and it circles and it circles and it's about to go down. That's what's happening. The circling the drain energy is the old root chakra stuff, the old foundations that no longer serve us, that, we can't desire freedom and equality and oneness and compassion and love while we're still attached to these old foundations. We cannot build this new house on outdated, crumbling foundations. But how at the same time, when our foundations are wobbly, and we don't recognize this stuff is happening, it puts us into more fear. It threatens, So say you had this house, right, with this foundation that's rocky, right? You bought this house, it's like 100 years old, it needed some work. The foundations are a little wobbly, but like you can manage. And then the foundation starts to crack and it starts to crumble. And now the house is about to fall down. Now you're panicked and you're like, I don't have the money to fix that. I can't fix that. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. I'm freaking out. I don't have the money. I feel unstable. I feel insecure about, my livelihood, all of these things. It makes it even harder to think about creating a new foundation, right? It's panic, let's patch it, let's repair it, let's just try and move on and pretend, head in the sand, I don't want to look at it, I gotta pretend that that's not happening because I can't handle it. I don't have the tools to handle it. Society has not shown us the tools on how to handle this extreme nervous system dysregulation that comes from our foundations and root chakra wounds being triggered and our foundations crumbling. And so we need to let go of the resistance of letting these things go. And it's terrifying. I'm right there with you. It's terrifying when it's like, and these foundational things, it can be money. Maybe there's big money, financial things taking place. Maybe it's a job and the security around, the money or the who am I or, the life I've always lived. Big change things. Maybe it's where you live. You've gotten evicted or you need to move or what have you. Our safety, right? These big core things. And so maybe they weren't in a great place, but they were familiar and they were comfortable. And it was like, okay, well, I don't really need to change it quite yet because it's good enough. I can get by. It's okay. I don't have the capacity to think about it, right? That's kind of what's happening in our realities. Well, now it's circling the drain whether you like it or not. And you have to address it because the more you resist it, it's just you're going to prolong this circling the drain. It's never going to take it back. We cannot go backwards. The momentum is already begun. We are already rebuilding a new reality, but the old reality has to crumble. And so it's imagine again this house that is now the foundation's crumbling, the house is starting to fall apart. And imagine you're trying to rebuild the house from this pile of rubble, this old rotten wood, maybe there's mold, it's outdated materials. It's not what you would want. It's what you think you need. It's what you think that you deserve. It's what you think is your only choice. So you're like, okay, I got to rebuild this house with what I have because we're programmed to be in this lack mindset. We're programmed to think small, not to dream big, and to just settle. And to not kind of go outside the box and think, well, maybe I should go get some new materials. So we're trying to rebuild this house, rebuild the foundations, the structure for the rest of our reality. When our foundations are not solid, we cannot build something new on top of it. And so we're trying to rebuild this foundation that crumbled with all of the old material, and it's not working because the wood is rotten. The carpenter bees or the termites or the mold or whatever got to it, and we cannot use this old material, and we need to go seek out new material. And what that new material is what are your authentic foundations? And again, I've been saying this, and so it's not super new for many of you, but if you have been really honing in on what those foundational things are, you're in a good place, because let it circle the drain and let it go down, because you already have started building the house in the right next door, right next to the house, right? Well, this house crumbled, you've already have been building your new house. So as this crumbles, it's not as scary. So kudos to you if you're in that space. And if this is new to you, if you are feeling scared or insecure or, unstable, it's okay. We're all there. And this is where you hone in on the wounds and triggers that are coming up. Because if we're still holding on to these low vibrational belief systems and programming, it's hard to rebuild this house. If we have this programming that life has to be hard, I'm never going to get ahead, I'm destined to be in poverty, things like that, it's impossible to see the potential for this brand new house that's begging to be built. And so this is a call to hone in on those things. Recognize those triggers. Recognize where it's showing up in your body. When that panic sets in and that fear sets in around whatever this foundational thing for you personally is coming up, really feel into your body. Where is that showing up? Are you feeling the anxiety in your chest? Are you feeling pain in your shoulders? Are you feeling tightness in your neck? Right? Where is it showing up in your body? And then ask it, neck, I feel that you're tight. What are you trying to tell me? This is how we do shadow work. This is how we figure out what we're holding in our bodies and why. Our bodies are always communicating with us. When we're feeling the tension, we're feeling the pain, it is our bodies trying to communicate with us. And so this is a big time for ancestral clearing and releasing the programming and belief systems from our ancestral lineage. Again, a lot around this lack mindset, the lack of abundance, the settling, the poverty, this is who I'm just destined to be, right? All of the limiting beliefs that keep us small, that keep us from thinking we deserve or can create a different type of life, a different foundations for our life. And we clear that stuff out, and then you have a clean slate. This is an opportunity. This is a gift. This is a clean slate to build your new house on. And you just have to believe. And when I say believe in something, you feel a reaction in your body. That is where you want to go deeper. That is an inner child that is begging you to pay attention to them. That is an ancestral wound that your ancestors are begging to help you, receive the help from them to clear this and to clear that baggage all those generations back and for all the generations in the future. This is a massive clearing. And the nervous system is really active right now. So this is the time to really hone in on anything that soothes your nervous system. When you feel the panic set in, we need to find whatever the thing is. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's grounding, standing outside on the earth. Maybe it's breath work. Maybe it's tapping. There's so many things to help regulate your nervous system. But when that sets in, we need to shift the script. When you feel panic, nope, I am safe. And do whatever it is, right? Sometimes it's deep breaths. I invite you to just go outside, stand on the earth, take some deep breaths, and imagine the roots growing out of your feet. Because at the end of the day, collectively, we're feeling really lonely. We're feeling really unseen. We're feeling really unheard. Whether it's from our conscious mind or from our subconscious or inner child. These belief systems and the programming. And when you go out and ground and connect to the earth, you receive that love and nurturing and support from Mother Gaia. And it's a reminder that even if your foundations crumble, there's stability. Whether you feel alone or unsafe, you're supported and you're loved. All of these things that make the nervous system panic can be resolved simply by connecting with Mother Gaia. She's all of our mothers. She's here for all of us. And just take that moment to be and just recognize these things and stop being in resistance to the things leaving your life or the panic setting in, and just feel into what needs to be cleared out, what needs to be released, so that you can see with fresh eyes and you can create from a place of authenticity, from high vibration, from abundance and freedom and love. All right? Mwah. Love you guys.